Hi everyone, let's go now to terms. Let's discuss about this one. So terms are external signs of the mental apprehension. Okay, so I believe meron na kayong definition of terms. Terms are like the words that we connote into an object. This means that what makes up a term are the signs or symbols as intellectual expression. So to make it more understandable, to make it more easier to grasp, no, we have terms that we used. So it is therefore an external and perceivable sign which connote or denote an idea. Again, it connotes and denotes or denotes an idea. Terms have the essential elements of being perceivable. It can be culture-based, time-bounded, and sign. So a lot of things are important to consider in classifying terms. So we have here the classification of terms depending on its properties as to its composition. Okay, simple term and compound term. So for simple term, it is composed of a single word to represent an idea or object. So simple term, no, very easy to understand. Like for example, plier, scissor, plant, no, school, man, no? It is composed only of a single word to represent an idea only. So, very general siya. While a compound term contains two or more words but represent only a single idea or object. It is quite specific compared to the simple term because it contains two words for you to identify a specific denomination or of an existence of a thing. Like for example, ladies drink colored light, no? It is different from light and colored light. Magkaiba yung dalawang yon, no? Mas nagiging specific siya kasi merong adjective that can describe the term you're trying to denote, no? Kung ano yung gusto mong pinopertain or mini-mean. Dirty old rich man, mas specific na yon. Sexy dancing queen, no? It's more compounded compared to queen, no? Magkaiba na yon. So again, it will only represent a single idea, but again, it will specify the denomination. Classification according to its meaning. Univocal term, having different spellings and sounds but convey similar meanings. So, for example, teacher and instructor, it's quite univocal kasi as what you can understand from it, parang parehas lang naman silang dalawa. Rock and stone are quite similar. Lawyer and attorney. Iba lang yung spelling, iba lang yung term na ginamit, but it's univocal when it comes to its definition. Equivocal naman, similar spelling and sound to the other but with different meanings. Like for example, plant for buildings is different from plant for green leafy vegetables. So, yung plant, 'di ba? Ito yung mga nasa mina or ito yung mga ano ba yung tawag nun? Yung plant is yung mga sa mga engineering, 'di ba? Yung plant, yung mga planta. Okay, it is different from a plant na halaman or green leafy vegetables or fruits or whatnot, no? Equivocal siya because the two words sound similar in spelling and sound, but it has different meanings if we can see it or if we just specify it. Okay? Next is analogous. Similar spelling, sounds, and essence but are nominal or symbolic in character. So, for example, blind man and blind curve. So, it has a nominal and symbolic characteristic. Even though we can say blind man, but a blind man can connote that someone is not really blinded by sight, but blinded by the idea, or parang na-brainwash siya, or parang hindi niya alam yung nangyayari. And blind curve is also different. Blind curve is not necessarily means na parang bako or hindi straight na daanan. It can be a rough road or it can be like a roller coaster ride of life. No? We can connote it towards life. Sharp mind and sharp bolo. So sharp mind can connote to matalas na pag-iisip. Leg of a man and leg of a chair. No? Leg of a man, yung paa ng tao. Leg of a chair naman is yung sa upuan. So these are having similar spelling, sounds, and essence, but it has nominal or can be symbolic in character. it is more complex as compared to the univocal and equivocal terms. So ngayon, I want you to identify each statement as to its meaning. Orange for color and orange for fruit. So what does it mean? Now, when we say orange for color and orange for fruit, it's foot of the stairs and foot of the mountain. So what does it mean? Foot of the stairs and foot of the mountains. Also, cruel stepmother and cruel sea, diba? They have both similar identifiers, yung word na cruel, no, but it has different meaning kapag nalagyan na natin ng noun. Man and person. Man is the life both, the son of man. So let's go to as to quality or polarity. So affirmative term expresses positive or favor on the existence of the object, thing, or condition. So the positive terms may take their negative by using prefixes or suffixes or by negative or opposing terms. So affirmative, no, it is a positive term. Example of it is honest and worth it or worth. While for a negative terms, it will deny or negate the existence of the object or thing. So we can make this affirmative terms to a negative term by simply adding words or letters. Like for example, honest can become dishonest. Worth can become worthless. Okay. Others, like for example, ano pa ba? Patient, magiging impatient. No? We're trying to add prefixes or suffixes to make it a negative term. Classification is according to quality or polarity. So words with prefixes or suffixes may take either positive or negative meaning depending on the premise of the mind of the word user. So, ayun. So again, it can become positive or negative depending on the premise of the mind of the word. So how a person will understand it is dependent, no, towards others, or it is dependent, no, from an individual. How he understands things, no, it's really dependent on how his mind works or kung ano yung premise or kung ano yung pagkakaintindi niya sa isip niya. Yung nagbibigay ng meaning, no, because it might be separate or individualistic yung pagbibigay ng ibig sabihin sa mga terms, no? It might be different from the others. Classification as to nature, no? We have three here: real, abstract, and imaginary. Real terms are those that exist in the human mind to represent the true nature of the objects, things, or conditions known to man. So these are real things that happened or that is existing, like sun, light, water, air, death, failure. So these are the true nature of objects, things, or conditions na nangyayari sa man or na nasa mundo natin or known sa tao. Abstract terms are those that are impenetrable to the sense but have the sense and play the significance in expressing ideas or thought. Like, for example, humanity, demography, journalism, liberty. So, the essence of it has a more deeper significance when it comes to the person. So, it tries to create a metaphorical meaning on these things. Imaginary terms signify those that are products or expression of our imagination or illusion of the mind, but represent some characteristics or realities, like Superman, Spider-Man, Stairway to Heaven, Pegasus. These are the things that are not really existing in the world. No, it's not really happening, or this is not really realistic. It's quite fictional, if we can classify it. Number 5, as to the quantity. So there are 3 classifications: singular, particular, and universal. Singular, it stands for a single unit or object out of the class or a group. Like for example, Jerry, Sampaguita, hammer. Particular naman refers to indefinite fraction or part or unit in a class or a group. Like some, few, around, approximately, many. It tries to fraction out or create a part or unit of a class or a group. Some of the boys are there. Diba? Many people are watching the show. So it tries to, particularly, it tries to create a class or a group of people, not really universal in nature, but more specific. Universal, when it stands for a group or class, and for every member of the group, it applies to a group of objects or individuals but taken as a single unit. Like for example, herd, no? Flock, artillery, audience, no? So it stands for a group or class, no? But it is very much general in nature. So hindi niya gina-specify kung anong audience, no? We don't know if is it for a musical show? Audience for what? Is it for a fashion show? Is it for an art show? We don't know really kung anong audience. Herd. Anong herd? Is it the herd of elephants? Herd of birds? Herd of mammals? We don't really know. What we just know it na universal lang siya and wala siyang pinapertain talaga na noun or object on it. So I hope that is clear. Number 6, as to relationship. So on the relationship, we have 4 classification of terms: contrary, contradictory, categorical, and connotative. Okay, isa-isahin natin. Contrary, when it mutually and exclusively denies or opposes the other and carries no in-between meanings. No, so it's either pass or fail. There is no silver lining. There is no gray areas. Correct, incorrect, and not correct. Good and not good. Intelligent and not intelligent. So it's either intelligent or you are not intelligent. There are no terms that will just specify na nasa middle ka. Ilocanos are good in cooking food. This is the sentence, no? We can also say that Ilocanos are not good in cooking food. So it's either you are good or you are not good. Contradictory naman denies the absolute existence of the other but admits a portion of it, like all, some, few, and no. So this will deny the absolute existence of the other but admits the portion of it. So merong gray areas or hindi siya yung first one na parang meron or wala. Dito naman, ang mga examples, all the Bohemians are brave, but plus, some Boholanos are brave. Okay, so meron pala. It still exists, no? Compared dun sa first one. No Cebuanos are lazy, but you can also say, few Cebuanos are lazy. So, meron pa rin pala, no? There is still a middle line or a middle term that will describe Cebuanos. It's not just pass or fail, meron or wala. Categorical when it stands as one of the categories or segment or variable of the given. So it stands as the one of the categories. So makikita natin dito, no, yung mathematics and algebra, yung algebra nasa mathematics siya, no? Metro Manila and Quezon City. Quezon City is within Metro Manila. Civil status and single. Single is in civil status. Polygons and pentagons. So polygons is including or nasa polygon siya, yung pentagon. I mean pentagons nasa polygons siya. So it's like a category for that variable that is given. Okay, understood? Next is connotative. Connotative naman, no, when by and through it the other term is attached. Like for example, Filipinos and Davaoenos. So Filipinos and Davaoenos, parang they are really related. Talagang attached yung terms na to. Father and son, no? As you can hear, if walang father, wala din namang son. Family and child. So walang family if wala yung child. Arm and hand, wala yung arm kung wala yung hand. Okay, Filipinos and Davaoenos, diba? Kung walang Filipinos, walang Davaoenos. They are related and they connote quite similar and magka-related. Yun lang talaga. They have relationship. They attach meaning towards one another. Supposition. Okay, supposition from the Latin words supponere to mean stand for. Okay, so it is the functional or operative in the proposition or given statement. So it comes from the word supponere. So it will stand for the meaning, okay, of the given statement. Supposition removes the ambiguity in a term with a broader meaning by securing a definition function. So, tinatanggal niya yung pagkalito or yung hindi pagka-clear, yung vagueness ng bagay. Hence, it makes it more clear yung meaning niya. Example terms are fly and light. Okay, so, birds will fly. The fly of a trouser. So, in the given phrases, we can say that the word fly can mean for the birds, no? They will flap their wings and fly. The fly of a trouser is different from this first example. The light is red, no? The light, okay, the color of the light is red. The load is light. Ang ibig sabihin naman dito, light is not that heavy. Hindi siya ganun kabigat. Okay? It stands for the meaning of that term, no? Mas nagiging specific and mas nawawala yung vagueness ng word or ng term by supposing or by trying to adding this meaning, no, functional or operative in the proposition or on the given statement. Okay, we have classifications of supposition, absolute and partial. So absolute, okay, this functions as a complete or holistic and definite representation of the object in the proposition. So, for example, a hammer is a metallic tool used to drive nails. Okay, so ang hammer dito, no, ito yung ginagamit pang pokpok ng mga nails, while flowers are ornamental plants. Okay, so nilalagyan din niya ng absolute meaning talaga yung specific term. A square, no? It is a plane figure with equal sides. So, absolute talaga or complete or holistic and definite yung representation ng object na yon. The given proposition. Partial functions as an initial and segmented representations of the thing or object. Like, for example, a hammer is a tool. So, is a tool, we don't know what is really, hindi natin alam talaga kung ano yung specific use niya, being it as a tool. We don't know what does it look like, is it metal, is it wood, no? Is it heavy or ganon? Or is heavy flowers have petals or are beautiful? So for flowers here, partially lang yung representation of the thing or object as compared to the absolute one. Flowers have petals. We don't know what is the color of the flowers. A square, no, has 4 lines. A square is flat. So we don't know ano talaga yung square. Is it a plane figure with equal sides? It is not really specified by partial. No, you can try to compare the examples. No, a hammer is a metallic tool, while on the partial side, a hammer is a tool. So for the absolute naman, flowers are ornamental plants, and for the partial, flowers have petals or are beautiful. So hindi nagiging specific yung meaning or yung function ng yung representation ng bagay sa proposition. Okay, let's go to appellation. Okay, appellation, anong ibig sabihin yan, sir? It stands as cognitive processes in denominating other terms. So, ito yung process ng pagkakaintindi natin. No? Paano natin ginagawa or how can we create these propositions? Like intelligent student, no? We have 2 parts, appellant and appellate. Okay, appellant, ito yung adjective that will describe the noun or yung term. Okay, so intelligent ang student, banana ang cake, laboratory yung school. Okay, laboratory school, vocational laboratory school. So, makikita natin dito yung appellant, ito yung talagang denomination niya sa term or sa appellate. Okay, so ayun. So makikita din natin dito yung order nila. it should first, kailangan merong appellant and go with the appellate. Another one, appellant, green, appellate, vegetables. Appellant, leafy, appellate, vegetables. Or it can be it can also consist of or compose of more than one word, like appellant, green, appellate, leafy, vegetables. Or we can say naman appellant, green, leafy, and appellate, vegetables. So there is a different if we analyze it, the parts of these terms, no? Leafy, then appellate, green, vegetables. Okay, so that is the end of the lesson. I hope you can learn something. Please try to study it more. This PowerPoint presentation, this is given to you. No? Thank you so much for listening, and there is still part 3, definitions.